At near the halfway point of the regular season, we are one of the top teams in the WNBA, sitting at 13-2, right behind the Aces. One team you will see, that's in the second game, but we will also take a look at an opponent that we faced last year and we lost in heartbreaking fashion. As we look at some of the league leaders, Cameron Brink is injured again. That's such a shame. Granted, she's played 13 games this year, and if we look at our top minutes getter, it is Napheesa Collier at about 27 minutes. Kelsey Plum on the Comets is leading the league in scoring. Angel Reese leading the league in rebounding. We don't have anybody rebounding at that much of a clip, but Kelsey Plum also leading the league in assists, and Dejanay Carrington leading the league in steals. Arika Ogunwale right behind her at 1.6 steals per game. Blocks, Ezi Magbagor at 2 blocks per game. Cameron Brink, those are the only two women that are averaging over 2 blocks a game. Asia Wilson, a block and a half. Wilson might be starting to take a bit of a step back as far as how good she is. Aaliyah Boston, though, of the Detroit Shock, who was drafted in the expansion draft, she is cooking on her own, so to speak, outside of playing with Caitlin Clark, where she normally is in real life. Bridget Carlton, one of the players we picked up like last minute, she is shooting very well from 3. Caitlin Clark averaging 2.5 threes per game. So we definitely have a pretty stacked league. You can see some of the top 10 players here. Breanna Stewart basically almost hitting 100% of her free throws, and the league shapes up as such. Detroit is in 3rd in the league. The Indiana Fever right behind them. Comets, the Lynx, the defending champions. The Atlanta Dream right behind them. So things are still pretty close once you get really outside of the top 4 or so. Some of the bottom feeders in the league, for one reason or another. Seattle Storm 5-11 despite some of the talent they have there, and the New York Liberty at 1-14, who we will be taking a look at here. Hopefully we can get some measure of revenge against them. Their team obviously is taking a hit, being as we signed Ionescu. Dejanay Carrington definitely taking over. Nalissa Smith, also one of their better players in their organization. We are at the Barclays Center, and it's kind of crazy that this team actually has such a packed crowd, whereas in real life in 2025, I know they're going to be packed because they just won the WNBA championship, as Nalissa Smith is going to be called for a foul to start the ball game off. Whereas this team is 1-14 and still getting crowd numbers, as Napheesa Collier puts up the layup despite some contact and gets it to go. Collier averaging 17.9 points per game as she continues to showcase her ability to really do it all, passing it despite almost a turnover. Sabrina Ionescu hits her first 3 against her former squad. Remember, in this universe, she has not won a WNBA championship. This is the 2026 season. Collier getting the ball from Ionescu, and she will drive hard to the basket, but it is going to be knocked out of bounds. I believe that is Rebecca Soares who ended up knocking it out of bounds. Good defense, though. Can't knock her for that. Valkyries will maintain possession on the inbound. Neldon gets it in the corner, swings it all the way across the court to Collier. She breaks the 3 as Nalissa Smith will get the board, and a pull-up jumper from Midi will tie the ball game up at 5 apiece here with 6.5 to go in the first quarter. Shu wide open, where, listen, she's going to be wide open just because she sets a lot of screens at the top of the 3, and she's 6'11", so she can shoot over basically everybody in the league. As the Liberty looking to stay in this game. Again, we are on completely opposite ends of the standings. We are second place in all of the WNBA. They are second to last place in all of the WNBA. But hopefully they can put up a fight. I'm not exactly sure how well they've done in their games, like how close they are keeping it. As Honshu going to swing it to Della Don, top of the key 3, and she nails it with the shot clock winding down. As we take a 2-point lead baseline, as the Liberty drive and then swing it back out to Carrington. Carrington is leading their team in steals and I believe points as well, as they tie it up on a kind of a rush shot, as Cheyenne Day Wilson with the assist. Midi jumper, and it's able to roll in. Liberty are keeping up with us, so kind of question why they're so terrible this year, but you never know. They might have had a couple of off days as Collier knocks down the tray from the wing, but things happen, shots fall. Della Don knocks it down. That's back-to-back threes, and As you can see, to start the first quarter, we are 7 of 10 from 3. That does not bode well. If we're shooting 7 from 10, then this game is still kind of close, as we have an 8-point lead to end the first. Jump into the second, as Elena Delle Donne does have 11 points, 3 ball, as Kelly Ramirez knocks it down, and the Valkyries are going to reset and regroup, figure some things out, see what we can do to really separate ourselves from a team that honestly we should pretty easily beat. As Carlton driving through the lane, flips it up and puts it in, as Charlotte's going to get called for the foul. Carlton, again, probably in the running for the 6th Woman of the Year. I really wouldn't be shocked at all if she wins it, as she is a great contributor, stolen by Moreau, as Veronica Burton relegated to bench duty, which is fine given that Ionescu's there, can't get the bucket to go. I mean, I'd like to see her score more with the second unit, but it doesn't always play out that way, as Delle Donne will draw the foul on Becker and will shoot 2 to take some points or extend this lead, not take points off the board. That's not what you do when you have the lead. She misses the first, unfortunately. One of the rare times she's missed free throws even this year. The second one is going to be good. Let's take a look at some of that all-star voting. Nafisa Collier leading the West with 1,087,000 votes plus. Sabali chucks it from way outside, not going to get it to go. Very rush shot with about 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Liberty haven't scored in over 3 minutes, and that explains why we have a double-digit lead. Sheldon open, can't get it to roll. Shaw gets the rebound, going back to Valkyrie possession. Collier, top of the key jump shot. She'll hit the midi to extend the lead to 13. Screen and roll, as Sabali couldn't exactly roll to a position where she'd get the ball. Delle Donne to Murrow, easy layup off the turnover. Good to see us playing great defense, and that is an 8-0 run. And at halftime, we are up by 16 points. This is not looking good, and it might explain why the Liberty are where they are. We are shooting 48%. They're shooting 34%. Really not much to really speak of. Though Cheyenne Day Wilson does have 12 points. She's going to need to rely on some of her teammates to help pick up the slack, as we have Elena Delle Donne almost turning back the clock, which just seems like something she does, every couple games. Shows that she's still got it in her. Drive to the basket, can shoot the midi, play some defense. Even though Arika Ogunwale kind of cooked her in one of them games, that I definitely show y'all it's all good because we got the victory. All right, started the second half. We've still got our starters in. Ionescu driving on Kelly Ramirez. She can't hold her lefty layup. Matter of fact, she switched it in mid-air, as we are shooting 50% from the field, which is really boding well for why we have such a large lead. Smith with the hook shot, can't get it to go, gets her own board, puts it back up, and it just rolls in despite her having to work around the extremely lengthy Honshu. As Honshu also affects another shot. That is why we have her on the court for so many minutes. Rebound by Moreau. She is definitely holding her own down on the boards. The funny thing is, I think when she comes in the NBA 2K26, she is going to be an even better player than the person that created her, part of this draft class. Long 2 ball, can't get it to go, and we're starting to really see why this Liberty team just has one win the entire year. Ionescu gets it the toilet bowl roll, and it is 50-29. Ionescu only has 8 points. We haven't even asked her to shoot that much, and she's only, shooting 50% is not bad, which is actually pretty good by NBA terms. And let's see if we can put this away in the third quarter. Carrington from way outside, not going to get it to go, as we pick up the board, pushing it to Delle Donne. And you know what? We absolutely smoked this team. There was not much to really see, so just skipped ahead. 87-60, as we pick up a very decisive victory and move ever closer to being the top seed in the WNBA. Listen, if I showed you the entire game, you could have seen what we did. But honestly, I really think that the Liberty just did not shoot well, on top of the fact that we were moving the ball, and Carlton was scoring, Delle Donne was scoring, Ionescu barely scored, Nafisa Collier was able to do whatever she wanted, and Cheyenne Day Wilson, we're going to give her credit, dropping 30 points, 11 of 19 from the field, 7 of 11 from 3, but nobody else was really able to pick up the slack. As a matter of fact, she was the only Liberty player to score in double figures, whereas we had 4. And you know what? Those 4 players combined for more points than the entire Liberty team. But you know what? When you're one of the top teams in the league, this is just what you're supposed to do. Beat the teams that you are supposed to beat and beat them handily for the most part. A lot of our reserves did not play, and we'll take a look at the All-Star draft. I still don't like the fact that it's just 2 teams that are picked by one person on some pickup game mess, but it is what it is. As you see, some of the top stars in the league, Nafisa Collier and Sabrina Ionescu of our squad, are a part of the All-Star festivities. Collier being the captain for one side, Clark being the captain for the other side. As we see Angel Reese, a one-time All-Star, first-time All-Star. Clark has been an All-Star every year she's been in the league. Cameron Brink, Camila Cardoso, Courtney Williams, like just so many talented ladies out there. But we will not take a look at the All-Star game at all because there's not much really to see. Honshu is going to be out for 1 to 2 months with looks like a broken foot. So we're going to call on the rookie Epiphany Booker to pick up some more minutes. She's a okay player. I mean, the overall doesn't really scream at you, hey, this player might break out. But she is getting some decent minutes, and hopefully she can just play some defense, grab some boards. I'm not asking of her to score very much. As you see, her career high is only 8 points as we take on the top seed Las Vegas Aces, Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones, Nika Ogumike, Kate Martin, and Ari McDonald for the Aces squad. You already know who we're running out there on the court for us. Yeah, somehow we now have an A+ home court advantage despite having like a D- last year. I don't know how they come up with this metric. Doesn't matter to me. Ionescu driving to the basket to start the game, and she will draw a foul on Ari McDonald. But first, this is very reminiscent to the last game I just showed y'all where Collier drove to the basket and she drew the first foul. I appreciate the aggressiveness early. Get your buckets early. Get yourself in a rhythm. Kate Martin, the 3-ball, she knocks it down. Oh, sorry, that was a 2. As her foot was on the line. Ionescu going left on McDonald. She can't hold her off the glass. She went left side with that. McDonald dishes it to Wilson. Booker, again, we are asking her probably the most tough assignment in league history as she faces Asia Wilson, and she ends up doing well on the first possession. I'm not expecting much more. Deladon knocks down a jumper as Wilson trying to back Booker down, and she is not budging. Long 2 forces that shot. You know what? Maybe Booker will be just fine. We shall see. But there's a reach-in foul by Ari McDonald. And she is going to get out of here immediately. 2 minutes in and 2 fouls. Yeah. Any coach with a brain is going to pull you from the game. Let's be real. Deladon off the inbound, knocks it down. We are up 9-2. Wilson in the mid-range on the elbow. Can't even get by Booker. I'm not sure. Booker is the strongest of centers, but hey, she is holding her own, making sure that Wilson just has a tough time of things. Granted, Wilson is a multi-time champion, multi-time MVP, so you're probably not going to hold her very long. So we shall see how that plays out as the game continues. Collier, long 3, very rush shot, misses. Deladon fights for the board, goes up strong, can't get it to go as Kate Martin gets the board and pushes it back the other way. Wilson, she has the ball on the block, backing down. Booker finally puts it up off the glass and puts it in. I figured at some point the ever feisty, the champion Wilson is just going to fight to get her buckets. Wilson, mid-jumper, can't get it to go on Deladon this time, Gardner. And we'll push the ball up the court as it's a slow start for Wilson. 1 for 4, 2 points, but the game is still very young. Only 5 minutes in. Long 3 from Ionescu, and nobody puts a hand up. If you give her a centimeter, she is going to shoot it. Like, you would think they would know that. Wilson get another chance to put up a bucket. Off the glass, can't get it to go as she shoots it too high and carries off the front of the rim. Ogumike, double teamed in the paint, swings it out to Jones, who will give it back to Wilson all by herself baseline. Trying to put on the okey doke, but she is going to get called for a shot clock violation. Valkyries get the ball back, swing it over to Deladon, wing 3, knocks it down, the assist to Ionescu. Bonner, top of the key 3, she rattles one home. Looks like we got some seesaw basketball, some back and forth action with the 3s. Another 3, Deladon, she knocks it down. It's 18-9, and yes, please inject this kind of shootout in my veins, because if this is a potential finals matchup, I hope this is what we see. 2 of the best teams in the league going at it for supremacy. Stolen by Ogumike. She'll push the ball up the floor to Bonner. Bonner dishes it to Wilson under the basket, and she okey-dokes Booker, but she can't get the shot to go in. Ogwumike back on offense. Pump fake. Nobody moving around to come to get the ball, and the ball is stolen by Collier. She is going to push the break by herself. Righty layup, and in 22-11 with under 2 minutes to go, as we have 5 points off of turnovers thus far. 3 ball. Rattles in and out. Booker with the board. She is really holding her own in this ball game, and I like to see it. I mean, granted, it's only the first quarter as Ionescu knocks down the top of the key 2 ball. So we have doubled their score, 22-11. Bonner in the corner, swings it to Martin. Top of the key 3, nails it. 22-14. I think Martin was on the team last year. I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure she was a backup, though. Collier driving through the lane, flips it up and in, as after 1 quarter of play, we are up by 10, 24-14, but the Aces are not exactly out of it just yet. Remember, Wilson's only got like 4 points. Bonner off the screen, nails the 3. Up by 7. Driving through the lane, flips the layup. Ooh, can't get it to roll in, as Petra Mullen, one of the rookies we drafted this past year, gets called for the foul. She is also going to have to pick up some more minutes as the first free throw goes in, given Hanshu's injury, as we don't really have very many centers, and obviously the 2 that we have are rookies, so they're going to have to just hold down the fort and do what they can in the time allotted to them. Della Don with 13 points thus far. She's shooting 83% so far. It's still early, and hopefully she keeps that up. Driving through the lane, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Mullen. We will swing the ball back around Sheldon. I thought she was going to pull it from the V. Carlton will instead. She pops it from damn near the chase sign. Way back. That's about 35, 36 feet out. So we take a 32-19 lead. Ball dumped down to Jonquel Jones. And she's going to get fouled by Collier. Honestly, that is a smart foul to prevent the bucket and force them to knock down 2 shots. And they will. Luckily for them. Moreau gets it, swings it to Collier, then sets a screen for her. And she's going to drive left side, going up off the glass, flips it in. 34-23 Wilson. Thought she was going to pull that, and she's got Collier Gardner hot back 2 ball. I'm surprised she even shot that. Not the best of shots, in my opinion, but hey, the great ones can do that. As Collier knocks down a tray. Ogwumike, takes Carlton off the dribble, spin move. Sweet layup, but they're still down by 10. As Carlton will attempt to steal the ball and actually get it off an Ogwumike attempted high post opportunity. Collier ends up the recipient of the steal and gets the easy lay, and it is 39-27 with under 2 to go in the first half. Drive to the lane, and then she gets a block on the other end. I'm telling you, Collier was worth every penny. Driving left side. Well, I don't know why she switched sides for the layup. She had the easy lay off the glass. Why you ain't just get the foul in the N1? Anyway, she knocks down the first free throw. And then almost knocks down the second, 41-27. Under a minute to go in the first half. We've basically been in the lead the entire time. Ogwumike off the high glass. Can't get it to roll in. As Collier will push it's not really a break. Is at the end of the half, McDonald chucks up a 3. Collier looking to get the last shot. McDonald only has 2 points. Swings it to Morrow in the corner. 3 ball can't get to go. Rebound by Ogwumike. And she'll probably just chuck this up from half. It is in and out. As we have a 14-point lead over the number 1 seed in the WNBA. We do face them at least 1 more other time, probably 2 more times. Depending on the schedule, I would have to look at that. Dewana Bonner is their leading scorer with 6 points. So they're shooting 37%. Collier has 13 points. We are shooting 47%. And looking to talk to Carlton and some of the others on the team just to see how we can close this game out. I would hate for this to be an opportunity where, a player like Della Don just isn't shooting that well, or Collier doesn't shoot that well. Keep the ball moving, keep the defensive pressure on them. Play this like a playoff game. I know that sounds weird for the almost halfway point of the regular season. Some teams coast at this point, but I don't want our team to be one of those as Collier and Della Don speak to one another. 2 of I don't think I've named a captain at this point, but you know what? Who better than to have those two ladies leading our team to the postseason? But the season is not even remotely close to over. McDonald, long three. She knocks it down, and the Aces are within 10 following a quick 5-point barrage to start the quarter. Moreau, long three. She's like, no, back to double digits. I don't know what you're doing. Ogumike, mid-post, trying to post up Collier, and she is just not having it. Hand off to McDonald, swings it to Wilson on the block, and flips it up. Can't get it to go. Booker with the board. I'm telling you, she is having a hell of a game. Collier, long three from the wing. She nails it. We almost have a 20-point lead. She has 13 points to her name. Ionescu, we've barely heard from her. I think she really only scored 8 points in the first half. And it's kind of crazy how many different scoring options we have. As the Aces finally get one in, Nika Ogumike has 8 points, all of it from mid-range. I don't think that was a mid-range shot, but hey, I am not StatCast, so who cares? Wilson off the glass, can't get it to go, swings it back out to McDonald, who ends up knocking down the three. Aces still down by 14. They're going to need a couple of defensive stops. Deladon popping it from long range. It ends up rolling in. You know what? When we're hitting shots like that, I think every team in the league is going to have a hard time. Ionescu with the steal, 3-on-2. She's not going to pass it. She's going to go for the shot herself. Misses it. Collier with the board. Swings it to Moreau, who flips it up. And then she can't get it to go. Wilson with the board. Aces might have a chance. I mean, they don't have much of a choice. Ogumike driving on the left side, swings it out, open in the corner is McDonald. She nails the three without a problem, and I guess with a 14-point lead, we're going to call a timeout. The lead went from 21 to 14. Deladon, long three, rattles it home. That seems like her hot spot at this point. As Collier driving, dishing hit the Deladon, who gets open and puts the easy layup in, as we are almost up back by 20. And you know what? We end up winning this game. Deladon with a three that she really didn't need to take, but who am I to say anything? Game ain't over until the clock hits all the zeros. And Deladon, 29 points. Collier, 18. Ionescu, 13. Is again another game in which we have scoring spread out. This is why we signed the ladies that we did. This is why we brought back Deladon. I like having that third scorer, even if she ends up being the leading scorer. She had a damn good night. Collier is more than likely going to be the focal point of the offense. Ionescu is going to do the same at times, and Deladon honestly is going to, I hate to say it, play the Chris Bosh role. She may be taking a couple of nights, quote unquote, off. She's not going to have a 20-30 point game every night. Solid 12 to 15 is good for us. She is 36, but just know where the buckets are going to come from. And if everybody else just plays within their role, we will not have a problem. We have won, I've honestly lost count as to how many straight games. There might be 8 or 8 out of 9, 9 out of 10, something like that. But we are coming for the number 1 seed. We are 2 games behind. With about 6 weeks left to go in the season. Some teams that I'd like to see, I don't know how many more games in the regular season we're going to see, because if we're at the 2 seed, we're probably well on the way to the postseason. Subscribe to see it. I'll let y'all later. Peace out.